Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Damon Looks. I've got an incredible guest. I interviewed her on Beverly Nation this past week, and after hearing her story, we had to do this again because she's not just an incredible musician. This is titled "The Other Side of Claire Cunningham," and I want to introduce you, sweetheart, but then I want to read your poem, okay? So say hi to everybody. Yep, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, Geri. I really appreciate this again. And I'm looking forward to hearing your poem.
This is so great. All right, everybody, here we go. Claire Cunningham. My guest today is off the charts, a musical icon, a master of arts. Claire Cunningham is her name. Her beautiful voice brought her fame. Oldest of 4 siblings, from Ireland came, lived in 5 countries, she's now in the game. 4 languages you speak, does Irish dancing too. Taught Indian dancing, and in London, it's true. Started singing at age 5, playing keys since age 6. Self-taught guitar at 16, this girl can really mix. Writing poetry at age 7, a contest she won at 9. Wrote her first song at 16, brings chills down my spine. Musical performance and technology, a B.A.O.N.'s degree she's earned. A national diploma she holds for mastering all she's learned. Rock band Smokin' Aces, 70s classic rock they play. Fronted and co-founded from CLARE to the UK. Thunder Mother from Sweden, a female quintet group. Headhunted on YouTube, Claire came in for the scoop. Largest crowd she's performed, 25,000 was that crowd. At the Sweden Rock Festival, Claire Cunningham made them proud. With 6 million views on YouTube and Warner Music Sweden signed her, 2 albums available worldwide, much more will now occur. Her solo career got kickstarted. 2016 was the year. 2 years later, moved to the US. This lady has no fear. Lionsgate movie played her song. Sundance Film Festival, she performed. Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer Chad Smith, with him that stage they stormed. Iconic RCA studio in Nashville, her latest single she'd record, and legendary guitarist Steve Cropper, Heart of Mine, should get an award. A 2020 Christmas song you are recording too. I love the catchy name, Holiday with You. B.B. King's daughter Claudette and Mr. T. Graham Brown are part of this recording. It will bring the house down. The other side of Claire, for all of you to know, not only is she healthy, an advocate in tow. Mental health, her heart is for. Anxiety, she suffered too. 27 years was chronic till she changed and was made anew. Health and nutrition's her journey. Plant-based and vegan she chose. Exercising and breathing, meditation and journaling rose. Wim Hof method and Tai Chi. Cold showers and trampolines. Boxing and strength training, your bodies like machines. Football and Kamoji, cardio and biking, a basketball player too. Cross-country track and field in Ireland, silver award was you. That was the highest award given. Claire Cunningham's a beast, now up for more awards as her music has been released. 2020 ISA Awards has you up for 2. 2020 Josie Music Awards has 6 waiting for you. The only jobs you ever had were all music related. Claire Cunningham, my friend, your life's been animated. The floor is yours. Let's start the show. There's so much more we all want to know. So that's for you, sweetheart. Now tell us.
Oh my God, you are something else.
Listen, that was a lot, baby girl.
I need that and put it on my website.
There you go. I'm going to be emailing it to you. And then,
oh, please. Yes, please do.
Yes. So tell us everything you think we would need to know, because what you're doing is incredible for mental health.
Yeah, well, it holds a big part of what I do in life because, I suffered chronic anxiety myself, and, there's a lot of of what you see that I do that, comes from a place of needing to better myself, I guess. And, a lot of people struggle, and there's a lot of, especially there's a stigma attached to a lot of mental health,
yes,
problems or things. And I think it's so sad because I come from a culture where talking is the done thing, I guess. And I just wanted to show that through things that I've done and do in my life, that you can heal and that it will get better. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is. But we're going to delve into it, I'm sure.
So, what's amazing, we all seem to judge a book by its cover. And that's sad, it's human nature. And when I look at you and I listen to your music, and I would never, ever have thought that you ever struggled with anxiety. And hearing it from you, I put this article, I made a page for you, and it says, Claire Cunningham will be next American country sensation. And that was an article written about you, right?
Yeah, although we need to eliminate the country because I don't do country music.
Okay, so they were wrong. It's not country.
No, I know. It was a thing from home a couple of years ago, and I think everybody thought when I was coming to America that I was going to suddenly start doing country music. But no, not quite the case. But yeah, no, I have great support from home. A lot of people have followed my journey and have been very good to me. So I really appreciate, everybody who has been following.
Well, so when I read things like that, and when I hear your music, and I would never think that. So I'm the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. Okay? I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. This book was written 4 years ago, and I just revised it. That's how many pages I added. And I say that to say this. Everyone has a story and everyone has a journey. We all have the choice and we all have options to change our lives. And this woman is the perfect example of it. I'm the perfect example of it. Okay. But Claire, I struggled with addiction, and that was a dumb choice of mine to ever start that. You didn't. You struggled with anxiety. That wasn't a choice. And what made you finally say, I can conquer this? When did that happen to you?
Yeah, so I was about 27, and I always, anxiety is something that when you suffer it, you think that's normal, and because you're not taught any other ways, I guess. And for me, because it was chronic, it was kind of like from probably childhood, it stayed with me, and I thought that throwing things and getting angry and going off the wall and just having the types of things that come with anxiety, the constant worry, the struggle, that was just part of life. And so it wasn't until certain external people around me started just, saying a couple of things to me, and I was constantly of the pretense that everything was okay, and I would hide my feelings a lot. I never talked about how I was or how I felt, or I showed that as a weakness, that to me in an Irish culture shows weakness. So it wasn't until, a few people said a few things, and then I realized, okay, I'm struggling now. Like, I don't have a grip on life anymore. And so the day, I still remember the day I called up the doctor's surgery, and I said, hey, I'd like to get an appointment. I want to talk to the doc. And they were like, about what? And I was like, there's a lot, but it's mainly to do with stress. And, and it was stress management. And I'm so thankful that the doctor I went to see actually looked at me and looked at two different methods that we could do, because a lot of doctors want to give pills.
That's right.
And a pill will mask a problem. It's look, I'm not saying that pills are not necessary. Sometimes in cases they are absolutely necessary.
Yep.
Because when the brain doesn't have the function to heal itself through methods of meditation or exercise, example, then that patient should require the,
Yes.
the prescribed medication until they can better themselves to
Yes.
heal themselves.
Amen.
He gave me two options.
Wait.
You know exactly, and you know
Yes.
this, right?
Amen, Claire.
But the doctor gave me two options. He said, right, you have two options here. You can take pills or you can go to the gym. And I was like, go to the gym? Now, I was a very active, sporty person anyway, but I hadn't really got a gym membership, and I just wasn't, necessarily. And I said, I don't understand. And he said, look, exercise is the best form of coping mechanism with what you are suffering from, which is a chronic anxiety disorder. Now, until we can get you into a therapist, which he suggested CBT, and for those of you who don't know what that is, cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's a form of therapy that rejigs the way your brain thinks and how you respond, and it's a fantastic form of therapy for all types of mental, disorders. But he sent me on my way with a list of gym clothes to go and buy and things to do. So and that was the start of a new life for me. That day, I decided that things needed to change. And I'm not going to sugarcoat the fact that when you have anxiety, it just leaves your body forever. And the one good thing the therapist did say to me throughout the sessions that I did have with her is that it is okay not to be okay. And you will retract sometimes, and sometimes you will be angry, and that's okay. But it's how you cope and deal with it, that's the difference. And I guess I didn't just have anxiety. I have a lot of, I do suffer still from OCD. I have a lot of rituals I do. I'm a very kind of an addictive personality. So everything I do, I only do 100%. So then, of course, I did get addicted to possibly exercise. And I have to be very careful with substances, because food is another addiction of mine, but that's the topic of conversation. That's the whole topic of conversation on its own, probably. But anxiety isn't just worrying. I think there's a lot of categorizing, catastrophizing things, fear, worry, stress. There's a lot. There's an umbrella of and you know what? If any human comes into this world and doesn't suffer some form of a mental, emotional disorder, then realistically, I don't think you're not human.
That's right.
So it's okay, peeps.
I want to piggyback on a couple things you said. First of all, I want to give kudos, a shout out to that amazing doctor. Not many doctors say that. The majority of doctors will say meds, meds, meds. And then these poor young people end up taking more and more and more and more. So that's an amazing man right there. Okay.
Well, thank you. And that was in the UK. So you got to remember, there's a national healthcare system. They don't want you to be on medication as much as they do here in America, because, it's money here. So
I'm a nutritional health coach, and I cured myself of 2 cancers almost 30 years ago without doctors. I would be dead.
You're amazing.
No, God is good. And I traveled all over the world, Claire, and I went with Lenox Hill Hospital back in the 80s. I went to Russia when it was communist on a health tour, and I went to all over Asia. We spent months at a time in these different countries. And that was when I was taught, I was in my 20s, and a light bulb went off that the healthcare system here wants to keep us sick because we pay our own health insurance and it's money.
Yep.
In these other countries, they don't even allow. Listen, I went into a McDonald's in in Asia. When we got there, it was in the 80s, and McDonald's was just brought to Japan. I'll never forget that. It was there a month, and they brought us there.
Wow.
And we went behind the scenes. They were using organic eggs. They were, even in Australia, Starbucks and McDonald's using organic coffee. Okay, here, totally different story. So absolutely. So again, and I say this to everyone, They are there for emergencies only, God forbid, like what she was saying. If you're not going to make these changes, yes, you do need the meds. If you're not going to, and God forbid you're in an accident, yes. But we've absolutely abused the medical system here. But you are, again, I'm an exception to the rules when it comes, and I'm going to be 60 years old in March. I've never been on a medication. I do everything natural. And I see you as the same person, but you're so much younger. To me, you're incredible. So when I want to ask you this, when he said to you, you could either go to the gym or take meds, and you're very active. I see it in this poem, everything you've done. I mean, were you like, wow, this is going to be easy for me? How did you feel about that?
Yeah, so basically, I kind of was like, I was intrigued. I was like, right, okay, I'm going to try your method out. And I literally took myself to the gym. Now, he didn't mention that about nutrition, which is something, and thank you, you're talking about it now too, that can obviously play a massive part in getting over anxiety, because what exercise by its very nature does is you have two parts of your brain, and it's the hippocampus and the frontal, I think it's the prefrontal cortex.
Yes.
And so basically the two parts of the brain, you can develop them stronger. Like your brain is a muscle, as is your, body and anything. And the stronger that you make it and can make it, the more you are at dealing with situations and, like combating stress.
Yes.
But also, nutrition, huge.
Huge.
Yeah, and so when people say, like, how do you have so much energy? How is it that you're constantly going, and very little sleep and blah, blah, blah. And I actually tell people a lot of times, well, I do thrive on a little bit of stress. I do like a little bit of, but healthy stress. But I eat only energy. I only eat things that grow from the ground.
Yes, amen.
That the sun will grow. I don't eat processed, genetically modified foods, and I certainly don't eat animals.
Yes.
So I'm very, like, my regime is very strict, I guess, not for everybody, but that saying, you are what you eat, is very true.
Well, I have to tell you something. When I got sick and started learning all this stuff, I became vegan. I'm completely organic. My bed is organic. My cleaning products. My daughter now started selling for Pure Haven, the only company out there that's really true 100%. We even drove 3.5 miles to go into their labs. So now I'll promote it. My grandchildren have never been vaccinated. My grandson is 19. My granddaughter is 4. We are very extreme. And, meeting someone like you, well, we haven't personally met, but I would love that one day. Listening to someone like you, verify what my beliefs is just an honor. You're absolutely incredible. You are. I know I keep saying that, but I just think you are.
Well, ditto, Mrs. Yes, your story and your exact way of being is just another amazing example of how you can change your life and how you can take a hold of your life if you just put time into yourself. I think a lot of people, and I am the kind of person who wants to please everybody and people please, but you know what? I had to take a step back at some point, and I do suffer, and I do hit walls, and I do get sick sometimes because I overwork myself trying to do everything that I can. But at the end of the day, realistically, you've got to look after number one. There's a saying that when you get on a plane and they say, please attend to yourself before others, that is not a selfish act. And it's the same in life. Don't look at it like you're being selfish. Look at it like you are giving yourself self-care so that you can be the best person going forward for everybody around you. Because if you don't put in the work into yourself, then everybody's getting a projected version of you that's not good, and that's nobody wants to be in the company of somebody constantly depressed, do they? And depression is a huge problem in our society.
You're right.
And one that people do talk about, like, basically, like, the stigma behind not talking about these things. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and nobody would ever tell you, oh, go away with your cancer. They're there waiting, but nobody wants to deal with people who have anxiety disorders, or we call them illnesses, but really they're emotions. Anxiety, depression, they're all emotions that are emoted throughout us. It's not like, I was listening to some doctor who was saying we need to stop labeling it as an illness and more of an emotion, because there's still, unfortunately, a massive stigma attached to, and especially addictions. Like, when people, I don't talk a lot about my addictions, especially because they're addictions that don't, on the forefront, you would never think and look at me like I have a problem with food.
You're right.
And so people are like, what are you talking about? Look at you, you're slim, you're this, that. And I said, but that's not got nothing to do with it. It's how you have a relationship with food. That's the difference.
You're right about that. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You don't always have to be overweight to have a problem with food. Like, you take anorexia or bulimia, which thankfully I've never dealt with or have, but I know that's a huge problem with females, especially in this day and age, because of the media problems that we're faced with daily, and the filters. We're living life through filters, so females feel like they have to starve themselves. So here's the thing about starving yourself. I did practice intermittent fasting, which on a whole is very good in general for your body, just to aid digestion, because I have a lot of digestive issues, which come from stress, which of course comes from anxiety. So your gut and your brain, that's a whole other episode, but
that's
they're
right.
very tightly correlated. And so by the very nature of fasting, especially as a female, even though it is classified as a healthy thing to do, unfortunately, with the type of brain that I work on, I got so obsessed with the amount of hours I was fasting, and then only allowing, like counting the hours before I could eat. And then when I did eat, it caused binge. So even though I'm binging on, plant-based products, you can still cause a problem with your relationship with food. And that still prevails today, years later. So that's something I have to work very hard on, especially in social settings when people can walk away from food and I can't. And, and that's not something that's easy to admit a lot of the time, because, again, people just don't think of it as a serious problem, or, oh, just don't eat it, or just don't open it, or just don't buy it, and it's the same as telling somebody, well, just don't feel that way. Our brain, you are in control of your brain, but your brain is a very powerful tool in the body. And when you don't have a grasp on it, or you do have issues, it, of course, causes a lot of pain and struggle and problems for people. And so I empathize dearly with anybody who struggles with any form of addiction, anxiety, depression, you name it. And to be able to come out the other side of that, or to even the first step is admitting. You can't make somebody go to rehab, and I'm sure you know this. That has to come from yourself. The will and the want to get better and to heal has to come from within. And so that's why it's very important as a human to listen to your body and to go and seek the help that you so dearly need, because, through cognitive behavioral therapy, which is, again, what I mentioned earlier, we can, in fact, get a hold of our brains and start, working on it that way, alongside diet and alongside some exercise. And you don't have to join a gym, guys. Go for a walk. Buy a little trampoline like I have, just movement. Just, you don't have to become the next bodybuilder or, put yourself under strain of, especially in financial times like now, people are like, I can't afford it. Don't worry. You know, you can get a little set of weights at home if you want to do weight training, or use your own body. God gave you a body, that temple that you can use. And, you know, the best forms of exercise are usually those that are used using your own body weight, because you're not putting yourself under strain and the machine, and, you know, so. But anyway, I'm rambling. So
you're
sorry.
not, first of all, you're not rambling. Everything you're saying is incredible. You know what? I'm going to read two more poems, one at the end, but I want to read one that you just made me realize I need to read through this. It's about addiction, but it's about changing and it being your choice. I'm going to read this. Everything you just said resonates in this. Here we go.
Okay. Oh,
oh my gosh. This is in my book, guys. It's called Change Your Choice. I had a life-changing moment that I knew had to be. The only way to change things was to first start with me. So I looked in the mirror and woke up one day and thought to myself I needed to pray. So I asked God to change me, to help me stay strong, to clean up my mess, to right what's been wrong. I cleaned up my diet. I cleaned up my room. I cleaned up old habits with this old dirty broom. I kept going forward and never looked back. I refused to derail, stayed on the right track. I realized my worth and all that did matter. Through my selfish behavior, the lives I had shattered. I finally decided at 30 years old to stop abusing my body, my mind, heart, and soul. My life-changing choice that I had once made over 29 years now, guys. My debt has been paid. So you read all my thoughts on how to stay clean. It's all or nothing, my friend. There's no in between. To live or to die is a choice you must make. Your life is not worthless and you're not a mistake. One day at a time is a slogan you've heard. It works if you work it while applying his word. For you to get healthy, for your mind not to fail, escaping reality will keep you in jail. Here we go, Claire. With addictive behavior, with addictive behavior, sex, drugs, food, or money, substituting addictions now, isn't that funny? There you go.
Wow. Where is that? So that's in your book?
That's in my book.
I have to order your book. Oh my God.
That's in my book. When you were talking about like the different in addictions, I mean, that's human nature at times, but we have to come to a place in our minds where we can start thinking healthy thoughts.
Yes.
And then we can start healing. See, that's it. Our thoughts are so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, our thoughts, like, we literally are, and again, I could talk for days on the power of your thought, because, you know, everything that you see in front of you now, and everything that is around you starts with a thought. Our brains are powerful machines. And when people talk about manifesting, which is something I do a lot, and the power of the brain, is actually, it's all brain related, you know, because our subconscious and conscious mind cannot tell the difference between each other.
No, it can't.
You know, they've done studies even on athletes, like Olympians and children with pianos, where they get you to pretend, like they'll get you to actually, like, example, hey Claire, kick a ball. So they have me wired up on machines, and then I'll kick a ball. So the brain fires certain signals that, you know, give the nerve responding. Then they get me to do the exact same thing, but pretend in my head that I'm kicking the ball, and the brain will fire up those exact same muscles and neurological pathways. So our brains, that's how they can actually prove that your reality and what you think is reality are very, very similar. So that's why when people say, you know, I'm able to dream it into existence, it's possible. But I think a lot of people, unfortunately, in this world have to see to believe. So, and it's just energy, and we are energy, and trees are energy, and your car is energy. Like, energy are subatomic particles that are made up of, you know, atoms, and they're all basically, we are all the same. We just take on a physical body and a physical form of energy. And so that's why we are, through the very nature of our brain, very much in control of how we think, feel, do, act, you know, all of these things. And if we can get on a vibration level, which of course, if anybody's ever interested, there is such thing as sound therapy and healing and different frequencies that you can listen to in order to heal your body. Something I do daily as well as meditation. You know, there's certain frequencies that I listen to on a daily basis,
Yes,
which resonate with different parts of my body to heal my body.
Yes.
You know, there have been cancer patients that have solely just gone on sound therapy. Again, I would never, I don't want anybody to take this interview and think, oh, well, then I'm never going on medication again. Never say no to medication if it's an absolute requirement to get you out of something that's dangerous. But don't depend on medication
Amen.
to solve all your problems.
Amen.
You know, that's where I would draw the line there.
So I know you're pressed for time today, and I know we have a little bit more time you can give us. You're doing some sort of a nonprofit, or what's happening with all that?
I'm in a lot of different nonprofit things, but I've worked very closely with the Nantucket Project, which has been great. But that's more to do with neighborhood and different things like that. You know, different. We've had different speakers, especially talking about PTSD, which is another thing I've suffered, especially, and I've had to learn to get over it myself. You know, and for anybody who does suffer post-traumatic stress syndrome, again, my heart goes out to you, because that's a real thing. And a lot of people talk about soldiers from war who go through it, but you know, it can arise from a lot of different things. And PTSD, especially that's created within adults, is hard, because that's something that can just suddenly come on set, sometimes after an accident, or you know, a different situation that you're put in, life-threatening, and it's something hard to get over. But yeah, they've dealt with that in the Nantucket Project. But I'm not currently in any. I'm trying to set up. Like, people ask me, what is it that you want to do, and I've always said, look, the success that I create for myself musically, I would love to put whatever finances I can into institutions that are created for mental health, especially. And I'm sure, I know there's tons of them out there, but here's the thing: when a patient goes to a doctor, they're told it could be months before they can talk to somebody. Sometimes that's too much. That's too long for somebody who, by the time you've gone to a doctor, you're already at your lowest of lows. And this is why people start self-medicating and feel like, okay, I will jump off that ledge, because if I can't talk to somebody for another 3 to 6 months, and that to me is shocking. I find that really hard to comprehend, that somebody who is that sick has to wait that long. And so I would love there to be an institution that I could create, and especially have it so that there's music available, sound therapy, that I could put people in contact with. So as soon as you're finished with your doctor, it's a placeholder place that you can go have support groups, you know, because there's just not the support from the medical doctors that give you. They just tell people, well, we'll put you on a waiting list. You're just a number. I want people to feel like they actually exist. And you know what? Today I found I started reading books after I was with my doctor. And then I was reading up on all of these symptoms, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone. And that felt like so good.
Okay,
like
great.
The day I realized, oh my God, my thinking, I'm not crazy. Like, this is actually, you know, there are other people who are obviously feeling the same. So that to me was a big day. I remember thinking, okay, like this is actually more common, and the more you look into it, of course, I think there's a big difference. You know, I'm talking about 7 years ago there, maybe, but I think there's a big difference now. There is a lot more awareness on it. People are talking a little bit more about it, and there is more of an openness, and you know, there's still a long way to go. But yeah, I want to, with the success that I have through my music, I would love to, continue writing songs about it, because they're the songs that I love to write about most, you know, the struggles and talking to people and just saying that you're not alone and that it is going to be okay. Cliche kind of things,
Right.
but they're very important for certain people to hear, I think, sometimes. And especially when they see somebody who is in the limelight or who appears to have it all made. You know, I'm put together, but it's a jigsaw, you know, and those pieces have been broken. I actually wrote a song called Beautifully Broken a while ago with a great gentleman called Corey Barker. And basically, I said to him, look, sometimes I feel like a picture frame and that I fall off a wall and my glass breaks, but I always can replace the glass, but the frame is always, it's there. The sturdy part of me is there, and I know that, you know, but over time, if that frame keeps falling, then the frame will break. So it's very important that, you know, we are made up of a lot of different things, and we are stronger than we think, you know. I think people forget how, you know, even look at a mother who had to, you know, get her children out of danger suddenly. Like, she will be able to move a car, you know, off a child if she had to. So we are very, very capable human beings, but sometimes, you know, if we allow our brains to, you know, conjure up the fact that we're weak or that we can't do it, and we fill ourselves with affirmations that are not positive, then your brain feeds off that. So we are what we believe, and if you believe it's true, it is.
Claire,
so whatever you know.
I have to tell you something. I just got chills. There's someone in the chat room. Her name is Andrea Kaczynski. She's from the Voice of Hope. She's saying hello to you, and she would love to interview you. But I have to tell you something. You just said, she just came in the chat room, and you just said something about a mother being able to do whatever it takes to save her children. She has a story about that. I can't believe you just said this at the same moment she came in the chat room.
That's the universe, my friend.
Wow.
Well, hello, Andrea, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay. She's definitely going to reach out to you. Let me ask you something. That song that you wrote, would you sing a little bit of it for us?
Oh, the I Swear?
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. Here, let me go over. Well, I have it on the piano, or I can do it on. Let me do it on guitar,
Okay, because we would love to hear that. Andrea, is that crazy? You just came into the chat room and she just said that. Wow.
That's crazy. Here, let me.
Okay.
I'll give it a little tune up as well. That song, I won't play a bit of that one. I'm going to play a bit of something else. Well, I could play that one.
Whatever you feel. Whatever you feel. It's okay.
I have one, and it's called I Swear, and I can just do the first verse, because this one has been the one I wrote during COVID, actually. And so I wanted people to realize that it's going to be okay, that sometimes, you know, in life, things are not all as they seem, and there was a lot of fear and anxiety, especially during that time. And I just wanted people to know that it's actually not going to be an overnight success of getting back to where we are, but I wanted it to be universal enough that people could
Beautiful.
All right. Okay. I don't know how this will sound on the. Let me do this. Take it off my. Okay. Right. You can hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly. Yes.
Okay. It's not a race. As long as you get where you're going, not always easy. Living life not knowing what's on the other side. Close your eyes. Don't be afraid. Dream of the better times to come. Yeah. Just keep the faith. I promise like me, you see it through. Taking all of your strength to just stay strong. When you feel like giving up, keep holding on. It's gonna be alright. I know tonight with our love and mercy and a little less pride. You get there. You get there. I'm ready. I'll just leave it at that. Oh,
it was incredible. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I am getting COVID. I do apologize for my whole system. It's been so long.
It's beautiful. So listen, why don't you tell everyone, we'll come to the close of the show. It's starting to thunder here again, guys. We had a major storm here.
Gosh.
So
Yeah,
tell everyone how to get in touch with you, to reach out to you, and then I'll end with a poem.
Awesome. So I'm on a lot of social media, and you'll see me on all the platforms at Claire C Official, and that's CLARE, and Claire Official, T Official. But my website has all my links and all my, even cell and stuff like that. So it's Claire Cunningham Music, CLARECUNNINGHAM music.com. And if you go there, you'll pretty much have all the links that you need. So, and please do reach out to me, anybody. I literally could talk for days and hours, and we haven't even touched the surface, I think.
Nope. Amazing. Thank you, girlfriend. Listen.
Thank you.
Interviewing you has been incredible. The first one we did was all about your music. Her music is off the charts, guys. I am not kidding you. She's a superstar. And now this side of her just makes her a human superstar. Okay? A much more human superstar. You're incredible. You're incredible.
You're so sweet. Oh my God.
So I want to read a poem. I'm going to close out, guys. A poem about mental illness, healthy outlook. Okay? Because your brain, it's all there. I have a chapter in my book, Claire, called oh my gosh, you believe this? This is crazy. Oh, Mind Over Matter. So I talk all about the brain as well. Okay. Andrea is asking, what was the name of the song you just sang again?
Oh, that's called I Swear. You're not going to find that anywhere. That's not released yet.
Not released yet.
I don't even have a demo yet.
You heard it here first on the Geri Petito show. Yes.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah, I haven't ever.
So I want to thank everybody out there. Please share this YouTube, okay? Claire Cunningham, everybody. She's incredible. I want to close with this poem. Healthy outlook. A healthy outlook begins with you. A life fulfilled is up to you too. A healthy diet is where you start, but a healthy mind is the major part. Your thoughts are wired to make you think, but what you do can make you sink. Keep all your thoughts uplifting and real. Feeding your mind crap will destroy how you feel. Music is said to define who you are. The kind you are listening to really matters by far. Upbeat and positive are the notes you should hear. Nothing with violence, or you'll live in fear. Mental illness doesn't always show. People that are struggling are the ones that really know. It comes in different forms, from ADD to feeling sad. Depression is a killer. This disease is really bad. The mind is oh so fragile and complicated too. We need to find a cure. It's very overdue, because people really suffer. Their struggles are so real. They're crying out so you can see the way they really feel. Don't ignore when signs are given, because you'll never know for sure. If attention is needed or maybe some help, just be there to pick them up off the floor. The meds that are out there, I really do hate. The side effects are so tragic, you see. When someone's depressed and feeling alone, the meds may give anxiety. I do have some answers to help with this pain. Nutrition is known to help heal the brain. Take away all the sugar, processed foods, and caffeine. Talk to a counselor trained to know what you mean. And maybe in time, as you learn to heal, you can get off your meds and understand how you feel. So let's bring awareness so everyone knows depression's not gentle. It strikes with hard blows. That's for you also, Claire. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely amazing, Geri. Congratulations! Like that says it all. Your skills are insane, lady.
Your skills are insane, lady. Come on.
And you know, there's that line. I actually have a line in the song. It's called "Depression's a Demon You Don't Want to Lose." And sometimes, you know, there's definitely a lot of people. Yeah, again, it's not something people have control over a lot of times. So please, guys, if you're out there and you are, and it runs in your family, or you have it and you're feeling alone and depressed and you don't know where to start, just, you know, start by admitting it first and getting the help that you need, and it can and it will be okay. But it is work, you know. I think there's no magic wand. You know, you don't have a therapist who's going to just take you into a room and, know, wipe away all your problems. It will have to come from you, and there is a lot of work that's involved in getting better. But that's why you need to do it yourself. You can't force somebody who, you know, who is ill to go and get help until they're ready. So
there you go.
Know that as well.
Thank you, sweetheart. Once again, the door is always open. I love you. Congratulations with all your success. You're incredible. You rock. And thank you to all my listeners. And please share this video. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
We end